Go, go, go. Yes, that's the word. Go. 8 a.m. I'm just reading a couple things here. Get a little drink of water. I know we're live. Marco Rubio moment there, right? So I'm your host, BKP. Good Tuesday morning out there, North Georgia. North Georgia's only live online morning show right here on FYNTV.com and live on YouTube. If you subscribe to our YouTube channel, anytime we are doing a live broadcast, you will get a notification. You've been notified. Lonnie, let's tell them how they can text the show. Tell me how they feel about the show. Call me 24/7. Right there's the phone number. There's the email address and all these social media ways that you can keep track of what's going here at FYNTV.com. Good morning from the office with BKP. All right, so let's get started. Now folks, I want to be, for our national viewers, okay, I know the weather patterns all around the United States are much different. Some of you are getting ready to get an enormous amount of snow. But right here where I'm at, in North Georgia, we're expected about 4 inches of rain. Take it serious. The rain has started. I know in North Georgia we have joked about the last 2 months of when it's going to stop raining. But the ground is very soft already. The rivers are up and the cricks, or the creeks, whichever one you want. You can have the creek, go down by the creek, or the creek, whichever one. The streams, all the ponds, whatever, the large bodies of water are up and moving already, rapidly, and we're about to put 4 inches of rain into the North Georgia mountains. So all I'm saying is you may want to prepare. Now, usually I don't jump on the prepare bandwagon, but you may want to prepare for maybe trees going down because the roots are soft, so they come out of the ground very easily, power being interrupted, and you needing some fresh water, whatever it may be. I'm just personally saying I've lived here for a long time, and 4 inches of rain coming out of the mountains in the streams, the creeks, and the rivers around here can be enormous. Again, ground is saturated, those big trees, the roots are ready to flip over anytime, houses, whatever. So that is just something I wanted to open up with. Please take extra precaution in the next 2 days. Water's not something you play around with. If there's a flash flood and it's coming across the road, you just do not mess around with water. It can wash something out very fast. So that being said, we got started there. I'm going to touch some of the third rail today because one of the candidates said something yesterday, or going to roll out a plan, and I think the Democrat field here, as it continues to grow, will be fun to watch. I won't take them serious, but I don't want to ignore some things, okay? So it's like in 2016, you know, when candidates were going around saying they would not vote for Nancy Pelosi as Speaker of the House, I knew all along they were lying. But in 2016, there were candidates saying things that some people did not take serious and should have paid attention to. So that's what we're going to do here. We're not going to go over the top keeping up with Democrats. That could drive anybody crazy, right? But we are going to watch the campaign. Now, number 16 here, the burn is in. Bernie is in, number 16. There he is. Senator Bernie Sanders, the independent from Vermont, 2020 presidential run. And he is in. Now, we are wondering if this time the children out there in those colleges eating their tater tots around noon will feel the burn again. Or do they have plenty of Democrat candidates to burn their ass with their programs out there? Who will get the burn effect in the Democrat primary. Remember the burn there? Bernie saying, I don't give a damn about her emails. I don't want to hear about her damn emails anymore. Remember that? That was Hillary. Hillary, that later Bernie found out that they were all screwing him real good behind the scenes. But Bernie found that out through what? Emails that the Russians, I'm sorry, too much fun this morning, that the Russians hacked. Whoa. But Bernie found out through some emails last time. There's never discussion what they found in the emails or the content of the emails. It's those pesky Russians. I mean, I think what we should do is we should can an aerosol can of Russian repellent and just put it in stores. See how many actually people pick up Russian repellent and spray at times. Anyhow, jokingly enough, that Bernie Sanders is in the race there. He will go around. He is the socialist. He's probably pretty angry that the others are trying to move progressively to the left and they just really don't know how to do it. He is the socialist. And my prediction is if he would win, he would probably pick, I think if he would win the nomination, number 14, wouldn't you love to see, wouldn't you love, I'm sorry folks, you got to have some fun. It's Fun Tuesday or whatever. There we go there. Wouldn't you love to see Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez on the campaign trail with Bernie Sanders? Oh, I have to be careful. The cough has gone away, but if I start laughing, I still cough. Wouldn't that be great? Bernie win the primary and this be his running mate and they're crisscrossing the country? Well, I want to be careful not to laugh too loud right now, but the burn is in. So we're going to touch, just leave Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez up there for a minute. We're going to touch the third rail. Now, yes, I am the kid that when we out in the field and the sign said electric fence. It said electric fence. But I still had to check it out and see, right? So we're going to do a little of that because I'm a little frustrated that America doesn't pick up on some things. But yes, Bernie Sanders is in the race. He is a candidate. Back to number 16. He has announced that on CBS, big announcement this morning. Was it on CBS this morning? That Bernie, let me see, I had that up there just a minute. Where's he at there? Bernie Sanders launches second presidential campaign. And Bernie Sanders announces 2020 presidential run. He's got a video out there telling you why he's running. He's released that. He's already got the official campaign website. Everything's ready to go for Bernie. Will he cross the threshold? Could you see Donald Trump? Now, I want to say, we're going to get to some serious stuff like the FBI and Dan Coates and the National Security, NSA, and the intelligence community and all that. We're going to get to that in a minute. But let me ask you a question. Every candidate that announces they're running for president, do you ever stop and take just a minute to see or think about Trump running against that candidate? Could you see Trump running against Bernie Sanders? I mean, how about against Kamala Harris? What about Cory Booker? Okay, what about Cory? Cory the Closet Booker. What about him, the senator from New Jersey? What about Plugs Biden, as he's known, as Rush named him years ago, Plugs Biden? Joe Biden. What about all the candidates? All right, so let's get a little bit serious this morning. If your daughter gets a text, number 12, this is our serious point. We'll get it out of the way. This has to have 2 days worth of airtime. If your underage daughter gets a text from Carlos Danger, okay, just letting you know, your daughter gets a text from Carlos Danger. There he is, the wiener. The wiener's living in a halfway house there in New York. And Anthony Weiner. But what is interesting about this? This remains, all right, he remains the husband, in my understanding, of Uma Abedin, okay, Hillary Clinton's personal assistant slash special friend, Abedin, okay, and this is the Carlos Danger here. Better watch out, because I think Hillary's going to be doing a drive-by past his halfway house, because remember, Carlos Danger right there, it's his computer that Uma Abedin was emailing classified information, okay, that the NYPD took away from the Wiener when they were investigating his underage texting there, Carlos Danger, and they found those emails, and the New York NYPD, as everybody has heard, said, hey, FBI, you do it or we'll do it. And that's when James Comey had no choice but to say, we're looking into some emails in this situation here. We've had to reopen some things and look at Carlos Danger's emails. But all that being said, wrapped up, you're a smart audience and you know how to research that. So Carlos Danger needs to be careful there of Hillary doing a drive-by. But again, with the emails, Hillary and that damn email system. All right, take Carlos down. People don't want to look at the Wiener no more than they have to. Now, one more thing before we go. Oh, by the way, let's continue open. We're going to get serious. I promise. We're going to get serious. But let's go to number 8. Because we know that Fox News has given an expiration date for the Ginsburg there. The Ginsburg is not just a knife anymore, okay? 1933 to 2019, we saved this. Remember when Fox accidentally aired this graphic and it, boom, the internet just grabbed it? Well, we grabbed it also. Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, 1933 to 2019. We know that Fox has given her a 2019 expiration date, so this is the year for her. Sorry, Chief Justice. Supreme Court Justice Ginsburg. But the interesting thing is the New York Times, I understand, am I right? I'm just doing the top of my head. The New York Times floated out an old picture of the Supreme Court justices together of the Ginsburg. The Ginsburg was in an old shot. Now they say she's returned. I have no reason to question it. I am not on my conspiracy theory soapbox this morning. Chill out there, okay? But they say she has returned to the Supreme Court. They say she's back. But we can't get, you know what the Cub fan wants? He just wants her holding up. We're going to go with the New York Times. Since you got it wrong, we just want her to hold up a New York Times with today's date and take a picture so we can see it. That's it. That's all we're asking for. So the New York Times, I think it's the New York Times. Do look it up. They run a story on her returning to the Supreme Court. They ran an old picture, not a new one. So we hope she's okay. We do. We're not wishing anything. We're not the ones that put an expiration date on the Ginsburg there. But just saying. Ruth, baby, it's time to go home. All right. So let's move along from that one, Lonnie. All right. Okay, so now, this guy right here, the media continues, and you wonder what, before we get to the national emergency, because guess what? The damn national emergency is going to get there when we get to it. It's going to be there when we get to it. Because they already have 14 states. New Jersey's jumped in. This is the state that just instituted a rain tax. Oh, hell, let's just go there. This is no method to the madness. Number 36. State suing administration over emergency. 16. I put 14 online this morning. I screwed up. I said 14 states. I'm sorry, folks, but 16 states sue to block national emergency. Now, we can understand Hawaii, right? There's a real border crisis out there in the Pacific, but they're probably, we've got military base out there, so they're probably claiming that we're going to take a couple dollars from them. All right, so then you have California, Nevada, right? Is that what's up top there? On top is that Oregon or Washington State? Huh? I can't hear you. That's Oregon, right? Okay. Thank you. Oh, by the way, Lonnie's in today. Josh is down at spring training with the Braves. He's down there watching the Braves at spring training. Lonnie's in running the Starship here. Appreciate it. Lonnie says that's Washington State. So we got California. No, Oregon. Lonnie said it was Oregon. Okay. Lonnie said it was Oregon. Let's get that back. I said Washington State's the one on top there. That's Washington. All right. So Oregon, they've got a massive border problem there. California, we can understand. Nevada, flip over here. Let's go over to the north. Maine, we could see their problem. New York, New Jersey, Virginia, Michigan, Illinois. That's Minnesota, right? That's Minnesota up there. Minnesota probably. Let's see, who's next to Texas? Is that New Mexico? Let's just do our little test, right? Is that New Mexico right there? All right, north of New Mexico is Colorado. Yeah, double check there, because we want to get that right. Anyhow, the bottom line is 16 states, and we can understand New Jersey, because New Jersey just instituted a rain tax. Seriously, if you have a driveway, if you have any where the rain is not able to be absorbed back into the water table, you are taxed for that footage where the runoff to the sewers. So if you got a driveway, your square footage, you're taxed for what runoff goes into the sewers and not through the ground. So if you have property, and swear to God, I shouldn't say that, but I just get in the mood sometimes. I'll say it again. I swear to God, man. Swear to God. I'm going to get the gold chains. I need the gold chains. I should do the show with the gold chains, especially when I'm doing New Jersey stories. So I swear to God, man, if the water cannot go into the water table, can't sink into the little grass in the backyard, and it goes into the sewer, you got a tax. Swear to God. I'm serious, man. If your driveway runs off, if you have concrete, if your water goes into that sewer, you get a tax. So the more pavement on your property and the more water runs into the sewer system, you pay a rain tax in New Jersey. Yeah, these are the people. You pay for God to put down the rain for the flowers, the daffodils, whatever you spring. But if it runs off in the sewer, you got to pay a tax. They're concerned with this national emergency. I can see. Oh, my God. All right, anyhow. So, that being said, you got the national emergency. It'll be there when we get there. Now, right here, you cannot get Kamala Harris or Cory Booker, and you and I know, and you're going to say, well, why am I even wasting my time? Because we seriously have to pay attention to these kind of things, because they're going to continue to ramp up. Now, where is the one I'm looking for? This is going to continue. I've got the protest rallies from yesterday. Hell. There's going to be no method. There was little protest rallies of 100 people here and there, but I love this picture. I clipped this one. Here's who was out and about yesterday on the national emergency. Number 38 in New York City. Now this guy, I forget his name. He's on Fox. Trump's national emergency plan sparks protest. In New York City, they got a couple hundred. But they find the lady with the genitalia-shaped hat there. I love the genitalia-shaped hat. They interviewed her to protest. Okay. Hillary Clinton weighed in. I'd like to see her get on some scales. But number 39, she weighed in. Hillary weighed in on the national emergency conversation. The real national emergencies are relentless gun violence, children separated from their families at the border, climate change, Americans dying from lack of health care. Damn. I was hoping just somewhere there she would have the opiate addiction. She would have the, is it 70,000 a year dying from overdose from fentanyl and opiates in this country. I was hoping that she would just have, I was hoping she and the Democrats would not go so much for the children separated from their families at the border, because those are not citizens of the United States. Those are not our people. And she would just slide in something that really was an emergency in this country, like fentanyl and opiates and the crisis that's going on, that's coming from China through Mexico. But Hillary weighed in. All right, I'm going to try, and let's just go ahead and go with it. Number 37, 16 states sue to block the national emergency. And here you go. There's Atlanta. There was, what, 20 people out. Boston, Massachusetts, Cincinnati, Ohio. We can understand in Cincinnati, you had nothing else to do, damn it, but to go out. There's their 18 people. San Francisco, California. You know, the good thing about the protest in San Francisco is the wackos could just urinate and defecate on the ground while they're protesting, because the place stinks because it's full of, I could have done the whole show without saying that, okay? But Newark, New Jersey, yeah, Newark. Why? Cory Booker Town. Denver, Colorado, Seattle, Washington, St. Petersburg, Florida, and Washington, D.C. Folks, these protests, MoveOn.org, remember, MoveOn.org orchestrated all of these protests, but there's a couple hundred people here and there. But as you can see, the press, challenges to Trump's declaration mount in the streets, courts, and Congress. Congress is going to pass, here's what they're talking about, Congress is going to pass a resolution saying that they reject his national emergency. It's going to go through the House, it's going to go over to the Senate. It will probably pass both, and it's going to get to the president's desk and get vetoed. So that's Congress. So they're going to pass something legislatively saying no, no, no to your national emergency. The courts, it's in the Ninth Circuit District. Keep that one up. I don't know, did I tell you number 37? Yeah, keep that up while I'm talking on this one. The courts, the Ninth Circuit District, we just talked about 16 states jumping on with Becerra, Attorney General from California, 16 total states. They are jumping together. So they're going to the Ninth District Court, all right, with Trump, and they're taking it to the streets. Now, I want to go into, here's what I want to talk about. When I come back, okay, and I want to get serious for a moment. I want to do a segment on this. Let's go to number 34. You need to take this serious, okay? And I'm going to give you two comparables, all right? Now, the progressives, the socialists, the liberal wackos, whatever you want to call them, they are better, like it or not, than Republicans in long-term plan, all right? Now, I'm going to take two totally different situations, all right? But I'm going to show you how both of the situations work hand in hand, because this is their Saul Alinsky rules for radical over the long-term game plan, okay? But here's Senator Warren to unveil universal child care plan. Universal child care plan. Now, I told you that we've mentioned on the show what will happen in the Democrat primary is each one will step up to the plate and see who can be more outrageous. And the outrageous buffet was Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, okay? She laid out the buffet line for these candidates with the Green Deal. All right? I'm serious. I mean, they're going down the buffet and they're picking out, I like this in the Green Deal, I like this, and they're putting it on their plate. Okay? And they're going to sort through it, and they're going to come out. So she, for what it's worth, they're pushing so far to the left. She laid out the buffet platter. They are stuffed with the Green Deal. Now, every candidate will come out. They will come out, and one will try to promote something more outrageous than the last. Okay? Now here's what Warren is doing. Okay? And she kicks it off a little bit because the others have been out. Carmela Harris, Spartacus Booker has been out, saying the Green Deal is like when we landed on the moon. So nobody has come out really. Okay, Kamala Harris is smoking dope with Snoop Dogg or listening to Snoop Dogg music is her claim. Okay, rolling a spliff. All right, nobody's really come out yet and set policy. Okay. Warren is unveiling a universal child care plan. This is the kickoff right here. Now, Elizabeth Warren was in Gwinnett County. All right? Kamala Harris is coming. Amy Klobuchar is coming to Atlanta. Yes. It's the Democrat concert. They're coming to Georgia. It has not even been 15 years ago. Democrats did not show up in Georgia. I'm going to take a break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about all of this. But pay attention to unveiling universal child care plan. We'll talk about more of this. And like I said earlier, do not, watch, tell your daughters, underage young ladies, if they receive a text from Carlos Danger to let you know immediately because the wiener is out. I'm your host, BKP. We'll be back right on the other side of these messages.